When he dropped her off afterwards, her face burned beet red. I thought something real bad happened. Sam really did it this time. My mom heard her on the verge of tears and expected the worst. She ran out to the street to talk to Sam or confront him before she'd even heard what had happened, but he'd already peeled out of there, speeding down the street. I could hear Mom yelling, "Stop!" at the taillights while I followed Celia to my bedroom. Celia plopped down into my beanbag chair and she told me how they had pulled up to the same spot that they had every year. But she asked Sam, "Are we really going to meet her this time? You are actually friends with her, right?" Yeah, he said. Sure he was. They sat in that Chevelle for a long time at the edge of that property until Celia asked him, "Aren't you getting out?" He said, "I'm waiting for you." That's a warning sign for you. Not that she cared, but they saw some Swedish giant the last time they went out there. Sam, though, he cared, and he'd stayed at least 5 steps away from him, like this Swede really was 15 feet tall and about to chomp him up. Celia thought Sam was just paranoid on weed then, and probably even worse this time around. So she started pleading with him like, "Don't you want to see the new silhouettes?" I guess he sounded all conflicted about it, like, "I do, God, I do." And she got super annoyed with him and said, "Then what's the deal? Let's go." She reached past the steering wheel to open his door for him, but he finally said, fine, and he popped the lock himself. She led the way into the woods, though. They may or may not have seen one of these silhouette things in the creek. If it was, Celia said most of it already washed downstream, but Sam, if you can believe it, actually ran for a second. Celia said he splashed over to the silhouette and he kneeled down and he piled sand back up to form a hip or whatever had washed away. He was more wacko than she was. And Celia said, "Don't do that. What are you doing? It's supposed to wash away. It won't be hers anymore if you do that." Celia thought this grown man might cry. He wouldn't look at her, but he slowly nodded and stood up. They decided to look for more. They crossed another wide open field of short grass, and Celia said they were going to give up, but somebody had cleared one patch down to the dirt. A silhouette laid in the middle of it. Celia said it was drawn with gunpowder, a black outline of burnt gunpowder. Somebody burned handprints into the grass around it, too. And as Sam, he kneeled down again, and he pressed his hands onto one of these prints. Good Lord, Celia said he crawled across the dirt patch. He laid down in the silhouette, and he kept his arms at his sides and laid in it, like this, like I'm doing here, holding my arms at my sides. He tried fitting into Anna's space, but he was too tall. He bent his knees to keep his body in hers, and Celia yelled at him, "What are you doing? Get off of Anna! Stop it! Stop this! What are you doing?" She grabbed his arm and tried yanking him off it. "Get off of her! This isn't yours! Get off! Get off!" He kept pulling his arm back to his side. He really did cry. She cried. She was frazzled. "Get off!" She tried rolling him off of Anna. They both got burnt gunpowder all over themselves. I saw it on her when she showed up at my door. They kept playing tug-of-war with his arm. Then somebody yelled, loud.